Hello, my name is Kara Riley, and I'll be doing a persuasive speech on sex education and why I believe it is important. And this will be for my COM 181 class. Unfortunately, I do not have an audience, but we will continue anyways. Most people who went to high school, they know of at least one peer who was pregnant. And how that affected the couple, both the male and the female, varies. Some of them will drop out, some of them continue. More than likely, that couple will not get married. And then there comes a battle with the child support and the money and stuff like that. But anyways, we're going to continue. Some of the objectives that we're going to be going over today are going to be some basic facts about puberty. A lot of it is common knowledge, but just to get everybody on the same basis, we'll go with that. And then after that, possible consequences of unsafe sex. And then lastly, common prevention measures and what you can gain from sex education courses or just learning it from your parents. Luckily for me, when I was in middle school, I got to attend a sex education course. At the time, it was extremely awkward for me, but in the end, I appreciated it. It taught me about what to expect with puberty and some of the things you should do and about some of the contraceptives that you can do. And then luckily, I have amazing parents who also told me about this on a one-on-one basis, and they actually answered a lot of questions, and I was well informed, so when it came time, I knew what to do, which is fantastic, and it made my life so much easier. But next, we're going to go over what is puberty, some of the basic things. As stated by Merriam-Webster.com, puberty is the period in which a person matures sexually and is now able to have children. There are various definitions you can go off of, but this is the basic, I think, layman's term definition. But while girls tend to start puberty around the age 10 to 11, on the other hand, boys tend to start at the age of 12. With the age range of 10 to 12, this puts children in middle school, anywhere from the 5th grade to the 7th grade, generally. So that's quite young. And unfortunately, a lot of kids are trying to mature quicker because of social media and how they should appear socially. Seems to be another norm that seems to be upping it a little bit. And some people say some of the hormones in the food are making girls mature quicker. But regardless of the reason, sex education should be taught just to prepare for these changes. And so these children do know what is coming. So we're going to some of the possible effects of unsafe sex. Things that if you don't get the education, these are some of the consequences that could happen if you're ill-informed and do things. First one we're going to go over is teen pregnancy. Like I said earlier when I first started this speech, is high school. I can personally say I know of at least 4 females that were pregnant while in my graduating class, which is either a blessing for some as well as it could be disastrous for others. This one here says 3 in 10 teen American girls will get pregnant at least once by the age of 20. And then the U.S. has the highest teen pregnancy rate, which is ridiculous. We have shows about it, and it's glamorizing teen pregnancy, and you can make all this money, and you can get it on TV if you get pregnant, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing that social media is doing, in my opinion. But sexually active teens who don't use contraceptives have a 90% chance of becoming pregnant within a year. That's a no common sense kind of statement. If you have unsafe sex, you're not using condom or birth control, any type of contraceptives, more than likely you will get pregnant if you do have it. Next thing we're going to go over is sexually transmitted diseases. This is the bad word no one wants to talk about, but it's prevalent. It is out there, and it's becoming more and more with this unsafe sex that everyone has and the multiple partners. It is quite possible that you can obtain an STD. And there's generally no way to get rid of them if it's a virus. Now, if it's just a bacterial infection, yes, they have medication, antibiotics for that. But if you get that virus, there's no way of going away with that, such as herpes or AIDS or HIV. Granted, technology is getting better, but why would you want to do that when you could have just had safe sex? Adolescents aged 15 to 24 account for nearly half of the 20 million new cases of STDs each year. That is a ridiculously high amount of people, which could be prevented by something simple. Males make up more than 2/3 of HIV diagnosis among 13 to 19-year-olds. A lot of people don't know that. Just because they appear clean does not mean that they are clean. And then 4 in 10 sexually active teen girls have had an STD that can cause infertility and even death. That's another thing I don't think people realize is just because you get an STD doesn't mean, say for instance, you get gonorrhea or chlamydia or something like that. They do have antibiotics out there for it that can cure it, but at the same fact, if it messes up your system too much, you can become infertile if you're a female. And then if it goes untreated for a long period of time, it can even cause death. I know some of them, such as syphilis, can mess with your brain, and you can have nervous system messed up, and there's no way to cure that. Once it's gone, it's gone. And then next one we're going to go over is loss of education. That's another thing I don't think people really realize until it happens. About 1 million high school students become pregnant each year. That becomes such a hardship on the female as well as the males. The couple plans on staying together, a lot of times the male or the female, even both, will drop out of high school to provide for that child. I mean, that's a good thing. You should provide for your child, but at the same time, you are losing yourself. You don't get the chance to better yourself, to get that high-paying job to support your family. About 70% of all students who drop out of school early do so because of teen pregnancy. It's sad, but it's true. And then less than 2% of teen moms earn a college degree by age 30. Yes, some do continue, but if you got to think of the hardship, you got to have the family, and you got to pay for your bills, and then on top of that, your children are expensive, and then school itself is also expensive. So you have to juggle all these finances in order to obtain that college degree. It's possible, but it is difficult. The next thing we're going to go over is what does sex education provide? And then some of the things that you can do to prevent some of these side effects. Well, not necessarily side effects, but things that we just went over. Knowledge of changes to expect during puberty. Like I stated before, when I went to my sex education course during middle school, they gave you a little booklet, and it told you what to expect as a female, and some of the processes and what was normal about the body changes and things like that. And then it also prepares youth for when they do become sexually active. Once again, with what to expect and things that they should do if they do become sexually active. And that will go back to the contraceptives, such as birth control or condoms. And there are ways out there to get them for free if you have financial issues, which is fantastic that people do provide these for everyone. You just have to go out there and get them. But that will be ending my presentation. We briefly went over what puberty was, and then after that we went over some of the possible side effects of unsafe sex, such as the teen pregnancy, the STDs, as well as the loss of education. And then lastly, we went over what sex education can do for you, what can it provide. And that went over the contraceptives and the basic knowledge about puberty as well again. Hopefully from this speech, I hope that you do gain, and I hope you believe and want to teach other children about sex education. And if you do have a child yourself and they do offer it at school, I hope you allow that child to go there. And I thank you for watching this, and I hope you have a great day.